Alright, good evening. I had to delete few videos to do this new video here. I was trying to teach you how to do impersonations. Now, to demonstrate my high and low range, there was a movie with Bruce Willis called The Fifth Element. Came out in, I think, 1997 or 95, somewhere around there.
The handshake is a...
So that's the news. I think it's ABC. There it is. Now, in the movie, there's a sort of operatic singer who has a real wide range in her vocals. And I will demonstrate how to sing with her on tape too, but this is just a demonstration. The only way you can do something like this is for teaching and educational purposes, and I cannot sell the tape, right? That's what real copyright infringement is. It doesn't mean you can't use the song at all, no. Or you couldn't teach it, right? At all, no. But they say you can teach it, right? That's the point too, right? Now they do have a version of this on YouTube, but it only focuses on the Diva's highs. But in this version, you hear the whole performance. Now I gotta monitor how long I do the clips, but they'll just be brief clips and different things like that for about 10 to 20 seconds. They won't. So Gary Oldman is in it, Mila Jovovich, Gary Oldman, Einholm. I even played Bilbo in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then the guy, the Hobbit, was a different guy. Now, it also stars what's his name? Chris Tucker. He's in it. I forgot about him for a second. Do you understand about that? Now, the plot of the movie is there's this giant ball of death hurling towards Earth, and it's trying to destroy all life on the planet. And Mila Jovovich's character, called Lilu for short, is the fifth element. And there's like these 4 stones that have to be set up around her, and she stands in the center, and through her a strong weapon is made. And when she as the giant ball of death is hurtling towards the earth, it's her and Bruce Willis's job to get her to the proper place to stop it all. That's the basic plot there. Now, as they're going through the plot, this here is the orb hurtling towards the earth. It's like a huge ball of destruction, right?
But the 4 stones that you asked wasn't easy. My gosh.
And as this is going on, they go to this sort of cruise ship in space, right? And there's a blue Diva on board from another planet, and she sings in multiple octaves, right? Which is what I'm just using. Now, as long as I don't show you the whole movie, I can do little clips of it, like it's a movie review too, right? And like I said, I like this movie when it came out. It was an interesting movie. I like the plot twist and things like that. It's a little bit action packed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to paradise.
Got line dancers, different things like that. Now, as another part of the plot, they got to get the 4 stones, which represents the 4 main elements: earth, fire, wind, and water, right? Which also represents the human body, right? She's called Pocahontas Diva.
Opera, I'm a really big fan.
You have a seat reserved, front row, next to Ruby Rock. So talented, don't you think? I just love him. He's so sexy. Well,
So Chris Tucker is Ruby Rock.
You know where I could...
Good evening, Mr. Dollars.
Thank you. Hello?
You miserable bastard. I never should have pushed you out.
Bruce Willis's character is named Corbin Dallas, right? And I think it takes place in 2259, yeah.
Or is this deja vu?
Now, I grew up watching characters like RuPaul and different things like that. And again, and it don't bother me what RuPaul does. I just would not want to date RuPaul, but I would be her friend, or his friend, right? Whatever persona he wants to adapt to, right? Male or female, whatever. Now, I want to play this commercial called something y'all need to deal with.
Say something. Next time.
I'll say something 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 next time. I'll say something next time.
I'll say something next time.
Most men are not abusive, but when they are silent about the abuse committed by other men, that silence is as much of a problem as the abuse itself. It support survivors how to speak out. Now this is the Diva.
Welcome to the, I am, security, I am, welcome to the... Can I talk to you for a minute?
Miss Plant Laguna wants you to know how glad she is that you're here. She'll give you what you've come to get after the concert. Stay here.
Radio Cosmos, and it is not.
big boy.
Tell me, my man. You happy?
Wow.
Hello? Come on, Joe! Come on, Joe!
Here it is. Now, she has sorta looks like not quite tentacles like an octopus, but like protrusions of what looks to be like sort of quills of a porcupine. Now, gotta be careful how I do this legally. Just around it. I can't quite make out what it's saying, so I'm sorry, I love you. Sort of hard to make out what it's saying. She's using sort of different syllables.
permission to dock for repairs.
Put him in the docking garage, inform security.
Permission granted for 1 hour, more than I need.
I'll take it.
Now, the reason I'm stopping and pausing is I can only do brief clips of this part, right? I gotta teach you clip by clip and how to work on matching the Diva's voice. Now, I don't have words to the song, and I'm not sure what she's singing, so I'm just doing, instead of a direct impersonation, because I don't even really know if it's a real song she's singing or if they didn't make up the syllables of whatever she's singing, right? Now, when you do that, like with another language, like with Klingon from Star Trek or Elvish from The Lord of the Rings or whatever, when you do a different language, right, you have to learn the phonetics of that language, right? How to speak it and say it, right? Whether it's Japanese or whatever, or Filipino or whatever. That's sort of how I forgot to go to I, but not too bad. Whoops. Speaker all out. Sounds like a monkey there. Now, I'm not saying I'm getting every note perfectly because, like I said, this is my first attempt at it without really knowing the song. Right? Now, everyone knows when you first learn a song, the only way to learn it is repeating it over and over again. Now, yeah, I saw the movie a few times and I've seen it on YouTube a couple places, but as far as actually learning to sing it, that's different. Right? Now, this is what's called a dry run. Right? A dry run, you're trying to learn the song yourself and use it as a teaching tool to work on matching some of the notes. Now, when you start out learning a song, like with a choir song, when you first sing it, you might not exactly sound good, right? Meaning you're trying to get the melody of the music you're singing down to where it sounds decent. So, like, let's see. The song I sung, Little David, we learned in the 8th grade, right? And when we first learned to sing it, we didn't quite know the whole melody, right? So that's called a dry run. When he first gave us the sheet music and taught us to sing it, right? So we started out the male section as Little David, play on your harp, hallelujah, hallelujah. Little David, play on your harp, hallelujah. Because we didn't know the notes yet. But as we kept doing it and repeating it and learning all the notes and the harmonies, it became Little David, play on your harp, hallelujah, hallelujah. Little David, play on your harp, hallelujah. Now the first one is a dry run, right? That's where we start working on singing the song, right? But as you learn the melody and all the notes in the song, and you learn to sing together and make it sound into one sound or unison, right? With the different groups in the choir, the bass, the altos, the tenors, the baritones, the sopranos, first and second, and whatever else. When you do all that, first and second alto, that's how you learn to sing the song. Now, I've only watched this through, right? And when I watched it through, I didn't really pay too much attention to all the notes the Diva actually sung, right? Now, some of it might be a little out of my range because I'm a guy and it's a diva, right? Voice, right? And some of it sounds piano-like, right? Like they're using the piano to make her sound higher. While some of them can be voice synthesized. And you can use a piano to sound like a human, which I can demonstrate that on my piano still here, right? And the other one in the bedroom, right? But the point is, though, when you do something like that, you're trying to create a sound. And it's more really the piano than the person, right? Not saying you might not can match it if you work on it long enough. Either. That's basically the song. Now, it's what's called my first actual attempt to sing it, right? Now, the way to work on getting it better, right, is you keep singing it over and over again, right? That's how you do it in choir, right? So, I'm going to be rewinding for a little while, so... But this is still to educate you how to use a real tape deck, right? A human tape deck. With no other tape deck knowledge, right? And how to match a unusually high or low voice, right? Like with the Diva's voice. Now, once I start working on it, I'll start using the tape itself or something like that to help me sing it better. And again, when I learn what all she's actually singing, I might one day try to do the whole song, right? But this is just my dry run right now, right? Now this is to make sure I sound somewhat like I thought I did, right? So again, it's all in the person's voice, what they're capable of doing too, right? Now, some guys fear to sing up to a certain octave anyway, right? Since I demonstrated it, so I went all the way back to the beginning, so you'll hear some of the earlier recordings. Feature. This here is the microphone recording too. So if you want to sing, lovely as a summer day. So, my cherry umbrella, lovely as a summer day. Maybe a touch of 7 days. Now this is... That's alright. This is also called playback, right? Now in the editing room, right, they can edit music together. They can make it faster or slower or whatever. Now, I don't know how they do it live, right? It might be at a slower cadence, right? And again, wasn't sure what he's saying there. Now see, it's just a tape deck. This is a jet, but it's real. But it's real. reason I'm stopping and pausing is I can only do brief sentences on this part, right? I gotta teach you how to work on matching the Diva's voice. Now, I don't have words to the song, and I'm not sure what she's singing, so I'm just doing, instead of a direct impersonation, because I don't even really know if it's a real song she's singing or if they didn't make up the syllables of whatever she's singing, right? Now, when you do that, like with another language, like with Klingon from Star Trek or Elvish from The Lord of the Rings or whatever, when you do a different language, right, you have to learn the phonetics of that language, right? How to speak it and say it, right? Whether it's Japanese or whatever, or Filipino or whatever.
Now, when we would sing in a group, our choir teacher would make us do vowels, right? So the thing is, the consonants don't really make up the full sound of the word, but they gotta work together, right? The main part of a word is not the consonants, but the vowels. They're what gives the word its real sound.
sort of high for a guy to go that high, but not too bad.
Now, don't think I think I'm matching you. I don't at all, right? I'm working on it. Because I gotta also learn the notes, adjust my voice to her, and then. So see how these little tape decks, you hear that noise in the background? That's why when you play a tape deck from a studio, you don't hear that. That's what's called Dolby noise reduction. You don't hear the background, but when they do that, right?
Now, I'm not saying I'm getting every note perfectly because, like I said, this is my first attempt at it without really knowing the song. Right? Now, everyone knows when you first learn the song, the only way to learn it is repeating it over and over again. Now, yeah, I saw the movie a few times and I've seen it on YouTube a couple places, but as far as actually learning to sing it, that's different. Right? Now, this is what's called a dry run. Right? A dry run, you're trying to learn the song yourself and use it as a teaching tool to work on matching some of the notes. Now, when you start out learning a song, like with a choir song,
no, I do think
when you first sing it, you might not exactly sound good, right?
That's
meaning you're trying to get the melody of the music.
She did an excellent job of sounding like a
down to
soprano
where it
to
sounds
an alto to even a bass
like,
singer, right? When she goes left, when she goes right.
Let's see.
Now, I as a guy do have an unusually high voice for a guy, right? But
the song I sung, Little David, we learned in the 8th grade, right? And when we first learned to sing it, we didn't quite know the whole melody, right? So that's called a dry run. When he first gave us the sheet music and taught us to sing it, right? So we started out the male section as Little David, play on your harp. Hallelujah, hallelujah, little David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. We didn't know the notes yet. But as we kept doing it and repeating it and learning all the notes and the harmonies, it became Little David, play on your harp. Hallelujah, hallelujah, little David, play on your harp. Hallelujah. Now the first one is a dry run, right? That's where we start working on singing the song, right? But as you learn the melody and all the notes in the song, and you learn to sing together and make it sound into one sound or unison, right? With the different groups in the choir, the bass, the altos, the tenors, the baritones, sopranos, first and second, whatever else. When you do all that,
contraltos, countertenor, or whatever.
Now,
I'm more in the countertenor range than the full female range.
Watching through it, I didn't really pay too much attention to all the notes you actually sung, right? Now, some of it might be a little out of my range because I'm a guy. It's pretty good, right? Voice, right? some of it sounds piano-like, right? Like they're using the piano to make their sound higher. While some of them can be voice synthesized. And you can use the piano to sound like a human, which I can demonstrate that on my piano still here, right? And the other one is better, right? But the point is, though, when you do something like that, you're trying to create a sound. And it's more really the piano than the person. I'm not saying you might not actually work on it like that. That's basically the song. Now, it's what's called my first actually attempt to sing it right. Now, the way to work on getting it better, right, is you keep singing it over and over again, right?
And that's how you would use a deck, like a tape deck or a boombox, to learn to sing, right? Now, this is to ensure I'm hearing what I think I'm hearing, right? Now, I gave my mom a tape, which I thought sounded good, but when we played it on her system, it sounded a little different than what I heard, right? But I don't know why, but maybe it was her system versus my system. Sometimes when you record it on a certain system, right, and then you put it on a different system, right, it also might sound different with the cassette from the store, right? Now, these here are called blank cassettes, right? You can generally put them anywhere, but alright. Now, to really test the sound, I can do it, put it on this, right? This here is also a tape deck, right? So let me rewind. Oops. And of course, I ain't gonna do the whole thing, but. Let me see where the heads are. Now, a tape deck has what's on the top or the bottom, what's called the metal head that plays the music, right? Now, this has two sides, a side B and a side A. Normally, you play side A first. So,
That's the tape. See what I mean? See how that one sounded different than that? A lot different, right? See, when they do a professional tape, you won't hear all that. You don't hear all that at all. But see how it sounds different, right? Through a different system. And this has bad noise feedback, right?
Now, I'm not saying I'm getting everything perfectly, because, like I said, this is my first attempt at it without really.
Yeah, it's just bad feedback. Yeah, it's just the system itself, right? Now, what's going on is something in the wiring on the tape side, right? Because if I put it on phonograph, sounds alright, right? The tape, it's got a feedback sound, right? That's what it's called, right? But that was Fleetwood Mac's When the Lovin' Starts. When the lovin' starts and the lights go down, there's not another living's alright. You'll be until the sun comes up and you say that you love me. And I just learned to do all that. I'm teaching you how to too if you want to. If not, fine. Alright. Can't make you. Alright. Have a nice day. Bye bye.